Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Okay, so this here is the black 318325i. Let's call it the black auction car. Still don't know how to title this car. Okay, so we've done my previous video. I showed you guys the car was on the jig. I showed you how we cut out on the vehicle, and we're just gonna go through us finishing the welding process now, measuring the car properly, right, and the reason why we're using the jig. Okay, so we've still got to come and put this panel in here. That's okay. We'll actually have to make up a plate for this here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you guys saw the last video, right, this whole quarter section basically was off. So when we started checking into here, we started finding a whole lot of rust in this car, on this, basically in this area, and it was actually rotten all the way down and all the way from the back. Yeah, but I've done the video, so you guys can check on the previous video. I'm not going to go and take out all the other panels now. And if you haven't seen the video, go down through the, not the playlist, I must actually put it in playlist, but go down through the channel and you'll actually find this car's video there, and you'll see how bad this car was. So we had to basically outsource another quarter section. So we didn't replace the chassis leg itself, we only replaced a portion of the chassis leg.
Yes, we fixed the rust up.
Okay, but I actually need to hold the, I need to hold the mic.
So basically we fixed all the chassis, the rust in the chassis leg, treated it, and then plates, put in plates where all the rusted sections were, and patched up that whole chassis leg nice and firm, and so that's solid. Okay, so we try to basically save the chassis leg, so it was original from here.
Okay, so we used the original chassis leg, but I remember even on the previous video I showed you there was only one spot where there was actually major rust in there.
Yes,
actually, you can actually grab that mic.
Okay.
Alright. Okay, got another call coming in, but I'll answer his call now.
So you can, if you come on this side on the bottom of the chassis leg, and you'll see where that gray section where we actually patched the.
So it's actually this area
chassis, this section here, yes.
Sorry, something is happening in my pocket here. Okay, so it's actually this area, right? So basically we know this whole quarter section went on here. This whole area here went on. This area was crushed into the car.
Yes, that was a previous damage to accident damage.
We've built up this area here.
Pull that in straight.
You have to pull it straight.
We have to pull this section straight here to so it all lines up here.
Okay. Let me just check if my mic is on here. Sorry, you know my videos are very informal. So coming back to the floorboard here quickly, you can actually see we're still left with one patch over there that we still got to do on the tunnel. Because the cutlet section was actually shorter, they basically cut the panel shorter, so we've actually got to build up a plate, and then we went basically on the original spot welds.
Yes,
with it. The only place where we didn't go on to the original spot welds was this area here.
Yes,
am I right? Because this is actually one plate
coming right across.
It's still here. I think the seam is here.
Yeah,
something like that.
There should be a joint there somewhere.
The seam is here, and then it carries onto the back panel. No. The seam is somewhere here. I can't remember now. So anyway, this is all basically one floorboard. So you can see now you got a nice clean floorboard in there. We're obviously going to treat it up. We're going to have to give it some primer now quickly before flash casting continues. And then I've still got to build up the driver's side floor.
The driver's side floorboard here.
So the driver's side floorboard is made already. You can see the test panel is there. We're going to do cutouts into that. We'll have that made out as well. So again, estimated man hours in this, yeah? How long? We were on this car about 3 weeks, no?
Yeah, 3 weeks, almost, yeah.
Right, 3 weeks. And again, last night we worked till about 8 o'clock trying to get this car sorted out because we need to get it off the chassis machine.
Yes.
The other ISs have to come
on the machine again, yeah.
Just for final straightening.
Yeah.
And so on like that. So the machine is not in the shop at the moment. It is going to come into the shop soon.
100%.
And it'll make our life easier because we can actually do the cutouts.
And cut
on the machine.
Yeah.
So again, the reason why we're using the machine to cut out, right, is that a lot of people now come with tape measures, and you want to measure out your points here, measure out the point there. That all works, but it works to a certain point.
Exactly.
Right? I've got an issue now where I've welded one of the chassis legs, and we measured it out 110% basically.
Exactly.
Come down to welding it down now, and we found that it moved 5 mil back.
Yes. Because welding, when you weld, obviously you get expansion and contraction with heat and stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously there's movement. There's a major, this is called a major structural repair. We're taking out a huge section of the car.
It's basically
major
25%
welding
of
to
the
do.
car.
And there'll definitely be movement if you don't have it fixed, especially with jigs. So this is basically the best form of repairing major structural repair.
So bottom line, what we're doing is we're locking it in certain positions,
Yes.
right? So we're locking it in its
The chassis
cross member positions, which
Yes.
are on the chassis leg, and we're locking it at the back. So we've got central locking points or cornered locking points on it. So meaning that if we cut out, firstly, the car can't flex. So I've seen a couple of videos now where guys are doing sunroofs on the vehicle, and the guys are chopping off the roofs.
roofs, yes.
That structure is going to deform somehow.
It must. You must know
Right.
it's rigid. You know?
So we got engineers, we got German engineers that design these cars, and they build these cars in a certain way that you're not meant to cut out pillars, especially pillars, from a vehicle and not expect any sort of flex on the car.
Yeah, and remember the cars are built in a factory with this type of jigs.
They're built on the jigs already. They put
And
together
why
on the
would
jigs.
the factory use jigs to build a car? I mean, they could have just slammed the panels together.
It's only
and
us.
said, well,
It's only us that come in.
yeah,
know it better.
aftermarket. Then when they
So hence me saying that even some of the work that we're doing there in the shop now at this point in time, I've got to move firmly onto the jigs, especially on the floorboards. So that's the reason why on the floorboards we don't cut out major sections of it. We do it in parts. So we do it in quarters.
so that it's the rigidity.
Exactly. You're still keeping the vehicle solid, and we're able to just work in that. If
Section.
if we cut the whole floor out of the vehicle, that car will bow. You're actually going to find issues on the roof.
Exactly. You'll find that there's deformation on the pillars, and then when you're welding, and it's even worse. And then you don't find the doors aligning. And you must remember, if one section of the car is out, it affects just not that section. It affects the doors, the bonnet, all
Exactly.
the things around it
And the only time you really see it is when it lines up.
when it lines up. So this is the best way to do it, where exactly it's in its line with the factory measurements, and the car is 100%.
Your major measurement, especially in this scenario here, is your shock tower measurement.
Yes.
Right. So your shock tower, you guys know that we cut this whole shock tower out, right? And with regards to the VIN number, that I'm still gonna figure out what we're gonna do here, because the VIN number on this car sits. No, I think this came out of a chrome bumper. No, it came out of a chrome bumper, because I must still get a water bottle bracket slider into here, so you can see the old module that's here. So we actually scored at that because the VIN number is not on here. So I'm actually gonna speak to the customer, and we can this car might have to go for police clearance again, just to get the VIN numbers
When it's sorted out.
punched
I
on.
think the
But
numbers on the other side.
yeah, but the original E30s come with the numbers on the side.
Okay.
So
understand.
this car, if you look at my first video on the car, there was also one of the discrepancies is that this car was APV, so meaning the APV is JC numbers. In South Africa, it means that it's stolen and recovered. So it goes, once it gets recovered, it goes to the police
Clearance. Yeah,
It goes for police clearance.
What's a vehicle theft units section? Yeah.
Then they give it basically a new identity. They take it off the system, give it a new identity, put it back onto another part of the system.
Yeah.
But the numbers normally get stamped on this side here. For this specific car, the numbers are stamped on that side there. So this shock tower was clear.
That one was clear.
But we've got the old one here to keep for that purposes there.
But we've got all our photographs and everything. So
Yeah. So
clearancing won't be a
so that can be justified.
Yes.
So it's not a cut and join and a make plan of a car.
Yes.
It's actually done properly, and we're trying to just repair the car properly. So now the procedure from here now is basically, we're just going to make up this plate here, quickly get this here sorted out. Once this is done, this car was actually pin and filed, and we just threw a rough coat of primer on.
Yes.
Because after we saw the rust here, remember we started pinning and filing this car first before we found the rust.
Because it was hidden away with all fiberglass.
Exactly.
And then there was terrible rust underneath it.
So we were on bare metal. We had to dump a coat of primer on it just so that we avoid flash rusting. Now we've got to go back and remove all of that primer.
Yes.
Right, even though we pin and filed, prep up again for our first layer of primer.
Yes.
And
just to come into this, if you look at it here, we have this plate here, which is actually fixing at the correct angle that the shock tower.
I actually, Lucian, come over the side here. I actually want to show them how this is actually jigged up here, right? And then you guys will understand. So we're basically locking in.
It's a three-dimensional,
three-dimensional lock.
So you got your length, your width, your height, and that's locking this whole tower in the correct position.
So meaning what you can do is you can take these bolts off here,
and this thing will
still be in its position here.
Yes.
You can cut this whole panel off, mock fit another panel on, get it into its position, lock it on top here, and then weld it in.
Yes. You don't have to put panels and try to make everything
and
fit.
Then afterwards,
take it on and off, and I hope it's right.
Yeah, exactly.
And thus you're 100%.
Well, you put your cross member and you put your motor in, and then you find out, oh shit,
yes,
I'm skew.
Things are skew. Yeah.
So again, guys, we go through. I just spoke to about on the previous video about why we take so long to do certain things. Here's one of the reasons here. This is 3 weeks worth, basically 3 weeks non-stop worth of work. So and it doesn't stop here. We've still got to come and neaten up the welds, neaten up everywhere. Okay, besides for this one panel, but neaten up everywhere. We've got to re-seam seal, not the whole car, but this quarter of the car. Clean off before we seam seal, clean off the old seam sealer.
Rubberize the bottom, and
it's tons of work. It's tons of work. And that's trying to do it properly. And the scary part is, this is the proper way of doing it, but it's not the best way as well. There is another way of where we can get the car dipped.
Yes.
Get everything off and start from every spot weld and actually take each panel off. But if you look at the labor costs,
it's gonna run in, yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid because the man hours behind it does not make sense to what the value of the cars are worth.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right, so we've also got to draw that line.
But in saying that structurally, it's now good for many years.
Now the guy's safe, so we're just going to basically treat this car
safe
properly.
and it's good for many years. Yeah.
Treat the car properly, and then we should be good. Okay, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Yeah, Atul, thanks for that. Atul handles basically all our pulling. He is our structural guy.
Structural tech on the
basically.
car, yeah.
So every car that comes in basically comes through this process first. We'll first identify and see if the car is straight or not. Like the Silver IS, we picked up the Silver IS is actually cut skew.
A joint skew and 10 millimeters all back.
So that's why on the previous video I showed you guys panels are not fitting properly, and I told you there's something up here, but I can't see exactly where it is. I will do my assessment and say, okay, fine, I can see something is here. Then I'll call Atul in. Atul, get the car measured out, get the car checked out, and then we've got basically sheets we've got factory data stating pinpoints of
the measurements
on the vehicles.
Factory, yes, factory from the original specs from the factory.
Then what we do is we come and basically recheck the cars, and we can pinpoint and say, okay, fine, we're out on the shock tower here, we're out on the rear shock tower, wherever it is, we're out. Then we know from there where to start assessing, and then obviously the sandblasting and everything helps us to see, okay, fine, now we find the crumble zones or the cut and join zones, and we start repairing from there. So it is a headache, guys. If you guys got a car that I have had a few queries that came in, oh, my car's a little bit skew, can you just pull it? It's not just getting the car on the chassis straightener and pulling.
Exactly.
This is not like the newer cars.
No.
Where you can pull and you'll get away with keeping everything else intact, am I right?
You see, most of these cars that are old have been in several accidents, major accidents. And this is where we end up with the older cars.
So we actually done a check.
Yes.
We actually done a check in our shop. Out of 50 cars, we had one car.
The 333.
The 333, Uncle Faisal's, I wasn't supposed to say, but I said it already. So it's Uncle Faisal's 333, which is actually pin straight.
Exactly. That's the one we measured, and we said that was the only one.
That's the only car that hasn't been in any form of accident or had any sort of structural damage.
Exactly, yeah. That's one car that we found.
One out of 50.
Yeah. Most of them, there is some form of couple of accidents, and that's where the whole problem comes in, and they've poorly repaired it and poorly welded it in place and no measurements done.
Nah, it becomes a balls up, seriously.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to go and repair, and when we look at the car, we can only see once we start stripping down, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, once we start stripping out and pulling paint apart, pulling seam sealers apart, not even seam sealers, once we pull the paint apart and the body filler apart, we can actually see what we're getting ourselves
really
into.
Behind it. And the only way you can sometimes see that most of the damage is to strip the whole car too.
100%. It's the same thing on this car here. I think I gave the customer quotation of X amount, but like I told you, in this vehicle here, I've got a budget to work in, so I've got to, if I'm over on this side here, I've got to compensate somewhere else. So I've given the customer an X amount to work with, and we've seen now that we've basically gone over just under 50%. And it's unfortunately, you don't know how much of labor you're getting yourself into until you cut out.
Exactly, yeah.
And then you're far out already. You need to still fix your way up. And
like sometimes you tell me we've got 2 weeks on this car and we'll end up with 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, well, the one car we're busy with now, I quoted for 4 weeks and we're on 8 weeks on the car.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those things in this business. You can't pinpoint every, unless it's a small damage, a respray that you can
100%.
calculate, but not this type of work that we're going through.
Anyway, guys, I shall see you. I hope you guys enjoy this channel here. I hope it was useful to you, and I hope that you make the correct decisions from now on. Not from now on, but you guys make the correct decisions as to if you do have a repair to do, this is what you need to have done. All right. You guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. Atul, thanks for that.
Sure. Pleasure.
I will update you guys on the video on the next one, and that's when we are prepping for paint. And yeah, cheers guys.